Okay, we should be straight now. Talk to me. All right. Nope, it wasn't you. Yeah, it wasn't you, but I should be straight now. Technology starts to get the best of me and then I figure it out. So anyway, so let me know. Give me the thumbs up. Let me know you got it here. And meanwhile, whoever it says Facebook, I hear you now. Thank you, Facebook user. Put your name in there. It doesn't show me who you are. Okay. So I can say hello to you and let that be seen across the technology. And wait, and I got the nerve to be getting ready to do some technology wizardry on this broadcast too. Because when I learn it, that's when I enjoy sharing it, but you also have to practice it. But I'll still show how many people said, I can't hear you. Okay, Sporty. It's everybody. It's not just me. That's right. No sound here either. Okay. I hear you now. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right. And Vic, it's all good. And then coming in, hey, Josh Small. And you know what? Go on and slap me on the wrist because there is no one who calls me Uncle Sporty more than you do. We've got less than 1 minute for today's message, but I thank you, my brother, my little brother. That's why I also, because I call him my little brother as well. But you just had a powerful post today, Ja, talking about how you have to, consider other people's feelings and what they're going through. But one of the key lines that I think that you said in your post was that it's important for people to know that you don't really always have to give your opinion. Sometimes you can just check somebody's post out, agree or disagree, and not even comment. Just move on. Some people, and I know a lot of times you won't see a lot of conversations in my posts because I don't really post for long conversations. I post to keep people keeping that moment together and letting them go. In fact, you'll even hear about it as I talk about why I did Glue Wednesday, and it's just to keep people going, and so. So, especially if you don't agree with somebody, maybe you don't need to maybe you need to stop following them. It depends on how badly you disagree. But one thing I always say, and I probably need to put up my public service announcement again soon, is I do not honor the First Amendment on my page. My page is not about freedom of speech. This is not a public page. It's my page. And I post to uplift like-minded people and keep their spirits going. So I'm not that concerned about having a big debate on my page about ideology. If you totally disagree with me, and if I see you attacking someone else, if you disagree, I'm not saying you can't let me know that, and I may come back, and respect your opinion and thank you. But then if you try to get in the back and forth, I will just delete you and block you. It doesn't bother me. It's not a paid page. And y'all, we talk. One of the things we're going to be talking about today is stress. One of the ways you get the stress out of your life is not welcoming it, not letting it keep a seat. Stress is coming, negative stress. It's negative and positive stress, but negative stress is coming. You have to decide where you're going to let it sit. Okay. What's up, Angie Robinson coming in on Facebook as well. Good to see you. All right. And Rogercarole coming in there. Hello, everybody. With her English prowess. Okay. Look, let's get down to today's message, and I'll continue to thank people as we go along the way. But what y'all may not see is I said I always open by saying goodness, because I don't know whether you're watching morning, afternoon, or evening, but isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation? Well, a lot of people say Wednesday is hump day. So I did a little research that I'd like to introduce. Hump day is actually an idiom that means Wednesday, a day of the week. The term hump day was first appeared in the 1960s. Oh, I'm sorry. Welcome to Glue Wednesday. Sometimes I'm ahead of myself in the technology. I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. Oh, good one. Excuse me. Welcome to Glue Wednesday. Okay. But the term hump day was first appeared in the 1960s in North America, most probably in business offices. Hump day is based on the idea that the work week is a mountain that one must climb. The general office week is Monday through Friday, consisting of 5 days. We didn't talk about flex time back there, old school rules, right? But that put Wednesday in the middle, or at the peak of the hump or the work week. So it was considered that Monday or Tuesday are the climbing days of the week and are therefore psychologically difficult to get through. Thus, Wednesday is the highest part of the peak and of this climb up a proverbial mountain. The thinking goes that if you can make it to hump day, to the top of the peak, then Thursday and Friday are an easy slide into the weekend. So that's where hump day comes from. But I like to say, hey, Wednesday is the middle of a traditional 7-day week. Forget about work week, a traditional 7-day week, regardless of whether you work, when you work, and then have therefore declared it as the day that I say that it's the day that keeps the week beginning and the weekend together. And therefore, it puts me in a nice prayerful mode and pose. And that's why I call it Glue Wednesday, because it keeps the week together. And then my glue is that GLUE, God's love undoes everything. Not that God's love will tear things apart, but that what has been torn apart, God will undo that tear and help you bring it back together. So let me get another hello before I move on, and that is Vic. I completely let the arguments go now. Okay, right. We jump right into the session sometimes, right? It's no longer my concern how you feel about it. It's your right as is mine. And that's true. And so I encourage you, don't honor the First Amendment on your page. And but you know what? But you also will see in the tone someone who is legitimately giving you some other food for thought as well, or versus someone who's doing what they call trolling and coming across and just want to put some negativity on your page. It's a choice. Everything is not set in stone. Y'all know I like to not use the absolutes always and never, because when you get one occurrence, it erases always or never. So have discretion. So thank you, Vic. And there you go, Rogercarole. That's so right. And see what my nephew, Josh Small, and y'all got to check Josh Smalls out at Fabulous Poet. That's why we click so well, okay? But that's the whole thing. And then see, this is what I like too. If this is your first time, see my family talks to each other. Hey, Rogercarole from Vic. They've never met. Vic is in New York. Rogercarole was in Chicago. She's now in Charlotte. And so we hanging out and having a good time. So that's what you do, is come on here and meet some family. All right. All right. So anyway, so Glue Wednesday, God's love undoes everything. And I'm doing what I continue the GAS series. And GAS is GAS, the Glue Alphabet series. See, when the pandemic started, I had just been doing Glue Wednesday, and then I increased it to Glue Monday and Friday as a way to keep the spirit going, just like I'm talking about on my page. And so what I decided to do was that rather than, because it's hard coming up with a message every other day, right? But because I don't want to just do it just to do it. I want it to have some substance. And so what I did is I said, okay, let's go through the alphabet. And each week we'll feature a different letter. And so first, that's what I started doing. I featured a different letter each week, and I made the message have to do with the words that start with a certain letter. Then I said, hey, why don't we get you in as co-authors? So you tell me, I'll let you know what letter we're going to feature next week, and you give me words that begin with that letter, and I'll weave them into the message. And so that's why it's called the Glue Alphabet series. This week, we're going to be focusing on the letter L, but next week, we're going to be focusing on the letter M. Don't put it in now, but you could be thinking about what word that begins with the letter M will you want to see get in the message next week. But before that, let's meet some of our people who just joined across the thing. So we got Daphne coming in from Chicago as well on Facebook. Jose has my brother Haas coming in on YouTube, and y'all may see him on Facebook as well. For some reason, we can't figure out why we don't see his posts come on my live stream when he posts from Facebook, but he can respond to me from YouTube. But you probably see him on Facebook as well. And then Vic saying hello to Daphne. See, so the family's here, all right? And that's what you do. So good morning to the family, all right? So as I was saying, today my focus will be on the letter L. And it will feature the letter L's with words beginning with the letter L. And here are the words that my co-authors gave me that begin with the letter L. Rogercarole gave me liquidate. Jose gave me look. Vic gave me laughter. Daphne gave me libation. and first time user and Ohio Margarita Buddy. I can't wait to see even if she just watches this on the video. By the way, if you watch on the video, also leave comments in. But I call her she's my first time of being a co-author, but I call her my Ohio Margarita Buddy. Maxine Hague gave me the word love. And somebody just came on. And I'll say, and I let people get their highs, even though they can see it. But let's highlight everybody, right? This is our world. This is our family. This is what we do. But so Maxine will be excited and tickled when she see that. I'm looking forward to seeing you again in September, Maxine, when I head out to Ohio again, working with the military. That's going to be in it. I never think that I'm off topic, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes people are, oh, you're getting off topic. No. Everything is connected. See, when you're talking and you think somebody has gone off topic, what you have to realize is that something you said clicked a memory for them. And so it seems off topic, but actually it is in topic because it makes now what you said more relevant to them. And they have they may have a better chance of understanding or having that empathy. They may check out for a while and not hear a couple of things, but you giving people an example, they say, oh, so you mean like when so-and-so, you know what, now that I think about it, when so-and-so, and so it seems like they've lost the topic, but that's the patience we have to have. So many people listen with the intention of responding instead of listening with the intention of understanding. And so that's what you want to do, is just slow it down, y'all. And that's, again, why that's another reason I enjoy your coming on here and letting us get a chance to just slow it down. So meanwhile, those are my co-authors. And what you'll see is that what I'll do is I'll put their word and their name across the bottom as I weave it into the message. I won't say, oh, there's that message, there's that word that Rogercarole gave me. Nope, I won't say that. But this is what it'll look like going across the bottom. And what you're also going to notice is that there'll be times where I use a version or the definition of the word. I might not actually say Roger. I might not actually say libation. I might not actually say look. Okay. Liquidate was Roger. I might not say that, but I will put the co-author and the word across the bottom, and you can look for the derivation of the word or actually the meaning of the word, which is also the key as well. Okay. So each week I have what I call a guiding scripture. A guiding scripture to my message. And this week's guiding scripture is Hebrews 13:8. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And that helps me create the message, changes creation, stress. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. But changes creation is stress. And you see, I chose this topic because the month of August is associated with a lot of change. Now, besides it being my favorite month, containing the anniversary of my birth, okay, it was once the 6th month of the year. In the original 10-month Roman calendar, the month was called Sextilius, meaning the 6th month in Latin. And it wasn't until around 700 BC that August was rudely shoved back in the order of months when January and February were added to the beginning of the year by King Numa Pompilius. Okay, so even now, as you think about how old the people in the Bible were supposed to be, right? You're Methuselah, 800 years. When you think about that, you can see that they were actually living 10-month cycles. Now, does that change the way you look at age? According to the Bible, I'm 80 years old in biblical years. How about you? Okay. And you can put that in the chat. We get a good laugh about it if you like. I'm not going to worry about getting back there and jumping on it. But yeah, I'm 67. I'll be 67 in this month, but I'm 80 in biblical years. So just think about, see, everything is perspective, right? And we're talking about stress and change. Everything is perspective. Okay. So August, back to change. August has also changed its number of days multiple times. In the 10-month Roman calendar, the months all either had 30 or 31 days, totaling 304 days in a year. But not only did Pompilius add January and February to the calendar, but he also reduced the number of days in August down to 29. So it actually wasn't until Julius Caesar introduced what's called the Julian calendar that it was changed to 31 days, and it stayed the same ever since. Now, I am going to stop to just do one commercial because, again, when we get new listeners and viewers, I want them to see the smoothness. And I say this because I'm also giving you a tip of what you can do to help write your speech writing. So notice when I had it go across the bottom, Liquidate Rogercarole Rogers, I didn't use the word liquidate, but I said that Pompilius, when he added February, where is it? When he added February and January and February, he reduced the number of days in August down to 29. So that was the liquidation of the day. So that's the creativity that I use when I do my speech writing, and so can you. Try to have an angle that people may not be thinking about, and that's what's going to help the message click, okay? So it's now 31 days in August, okay? And it's been the same ever since. But in fact, it was in 8 BC that this month was actually named August in honor of Roman Emperor Augustus. And according to a Senatus consultant quoted by Macrobius, some of these words are tongue twisters, he chose this month because it was the time of several of his great triumphs, including the conquest of Egypt. Do you realize Augustus never suffered a downfall? He was one of the very few emperors who actually just died of natural causes. Meanwhile, change seems to be a comforting word for August. In fact, with modern day application in the Northern Hemisphere, August is considered to be the last month of the summer. In the Southern Hemisphere, it's the opposite, of course. So it's the last month of the winter months. Back in the days of the Anglo-Saxons, the month was called Wead Momath, and its translation is weed month. It's quite literal, but it's not that kind of weed. Nope. In this month, weeds and other plants grow the fastest in the Northern Hemisphere. So that's why Wead Momath is weed month. August is also a big month for the U.S. Civil Rights Movement. It was on August 28th, 1963, that Dr. Martin Luther King first gave his famous, I Have a Dream speech to 250,000 people on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Considered to be one of the most iconic speeches in the history of the United States, King's speech called for the end of racial discrimination and for equal rights to all. There's some fascinating holidays also spread throughout August, which are celebrated in different parts of the world. On August 1st, we have World Scout Scarf Day, as well as the official birthday and coronation of the King of Tonga. On August 5th, is that still there? There it is. On August 5th, we have National Underwear Day in the United States. And August 11th is Mountain Day in Japan. Now, August 16th is National Rum Day. National Rum Day in the United States. And then August 20th is World Mosquito Day. If you want to check any of those out, just let me know. I'll drop that link in the thread when it's over. It's called the Facts site. Okay. In fact, let me just go on and no, I'm not going to drop it in there now. I'm gonna move on. Okay. I'm gonna move on. All right. So there we go. I didn't even click that up. Okay. August 16th is National Rum Day, and August 20th is World Mosquito Day. So all of that is the setup. Okay. Now that we have set it up for the month, let's talk about one of change's creations, and that is stress, which is something that we can actually learn to we can learn not to just control our stress, but I want to talk to you about mastering your stress. That's why you see my logo. It's a stress mastery educator. It's a certification that I got through Dr. Heidi Ann, a good friend of mine, and through the American Society, the American Institute of Stress, American Institute, AIS, American Institute of Stress. I'm going to put them in there as well. Okay. So we have to focus on mastering stress, not just controlling or handling, because we say I can handle my stress. All right. But here's a fact about change and stress. Change, whether it's positive or negative, can create stress that affects both your physical and mental well-being. And see that, but we take that back to Vic's comment as well as what I was talking about, Ja, and what Rogercarole said. You know, Vic said, yeah, I just chill out. I don't even answer. See, that's negative stress that somebody comes on and attacks your page. But positive stress, because sometimes we don't think about that. But how about when you're exercising? That's positive stress. How about when you're studying for a test? That's positive stress. How when you're practicing for an interview? See, so don't let stress just mean one thing. There's plenty of positive stress going on in our lives, but what we have to do is make sure that we look for it as well. And so here's a fact that can be fun, and it's something that I use to open up my sessions with about stress when I'm speaking with my military. Okay, let me get this down so you can see it. All right. She met him on the internet. He said he lived in a gated community. Okay, so what I do is I already have this slide up on the screen when the attendees walk in. So I'm giving you a speaking tip right now as well. You know, because a lot of people say, oh man, you don't want to, death by PowerPoint. I say, no, breath by PowerPoint. It's how you use your slides that make a difference. It's not the fact that you have slides that bores and pisses people off. No, it's how you use your slides that can bore or piss people off. If you use them effectively, then you get the response you need. Because let me tell you something, for those who say, well, I'm just not going to use slides. Well, you've just cut down the impact that you have on your audience, because we all have different learning styles. And there are people who are visual learners and they need to see something as you talk about it. You got the visual learners, you got the auditory learners, the people who learn by listening, and you got the kinesthetic, I believe it's pronounced kinesthetic, and that's the people who learn by being involved. So don't cut off instantly 1/3 of your audience by deciding I'm not going to have slides or I'm not going to have visuals. Because let me say that also, yeah, you can decide not to have slides, but you got to have, then you need to have something visual that people can see that you hold up. So I set the mood in the room as they're coming in, because naturally they're coming into a class called Address Your Stress. And what they're doing, they're coming in to hear somebody talk about stress and being stressed out. And the first thing they see is this on the screen. And so as they're sitting there waiting for the class to start, what do you think they're doing? They're laughing. They're sitting there and they're chuckling. And they're thinking about what's, how, the commercial that they used to be that, oh, well, yeah, I know it's true. I saw it on the internet. Okay. So you set your mood as the speaker before the people get in. Rogercarole and we did some speaking back in my early days, and hers as well, where she likes to play music. And she played, and we were speaking with some teens, and she played the music either in the middle or toward the end of her presentation. I don't remember which, but I said to her, I said, you know what? I said, here's a good, and because we debriefed, and I said, here's a good tip. I said, next time, play the music as they're coming in. And she said, my goodness, I love that idea. You, Rogercarole, you thought I forgot that. Play the music as they're coming in so that they can come in, because the music, she had a nice beat going. And so imagine the students coming in, teenagers especially, coming into a room where there's a nice beat going on, where they're getting ready to hear oh God, we're going to hear another adult tell us what we need to do with our lives. You immediately take that thought away from them, because they come in and they hear one of their songs, and it's got, and so again, options for when you present. Again, I know Roger Carroll appreciated that when I said it to her, and I was so glad that she was open to hearing it so we can share it. Okay. But the key is, after I show them this, then I introduce them to the principle. And the principle is a very sobering principle. And that is, if you don't like the way things are, change the way you look at them. If you don't like the way things are, change the way you look at them. And here comes Roger Carroll with a comment saying, the music sets the mood for all ages. Exactly. Yes, it does. We had a teen group, but pick music that will set the, and so you can see how anybody would have just loved to see that topic. So in fact, let me ask you to see that slide. So let me ask you, what topics do you think this would help you lead in a discussion on? Okay. I had this picture up to lead a discussion on stress. Put it in the chat. Tell me. I'm going to hold, because I know this thing will hesitate. Put in the chat. Tell me, what topics do you think you could have led a session on that when they come in, they see this slide and it sets the mood? And again, it's going to work into the principle. If you don't like the way things are, change the way you look at them. All right. So let's take a breath and let you get that in there for me. All right. Okay, and I know it's a delay somewhere. Okay, here we go. The music online dating. Online dating tips. That would be not too obvious, right? But wouldn't that be a great way to lead that conversation? What else? What kind of tips would you give somebody what can this video tip people off into leading into discussion? And I'll okay, here we go. Vic can talk about miserable topic, traveling. Not sure what you mean by that, Vic. Miserable topic, traveling. Oh, if you're miserable, then the topic should be traveling. Clarify that one if you can, Vic. All right. But yeah, see, so she met him on Instagram. He said he lived in a gated community. Okay, and meanwhile, even if you're watching the videotape, what discussion could you lead? Put it in there. Doesn't have to be time sensitive. Isn't it great to see that someone may be talking about the same thing you did, or it may be giving you a good idea to use on something that you're getting ready to do? That again is why I have this nice informal setting, and we keep it moving. All right. Okay, so let me go on, and I'll come back if I see some more posts in there. All right, so that's really cool. So thank you. Now, in 2014, on my business card, website, and marketing material, I started listing my address as Penthouse 208. Okay, wait, I got 2 comments in there that can come in. Okay. Oh. That's Vic's next week's word. Okay. Does that mean you leaving? That's what I always say. If you got to go, put your word in before you leave. But otherwise, try to save them toward the end. Doesn't matter where you put them in, because you see I'm going to get them. And traveling is the topic. See, and there's the thing we have to remember about technology. It's not conversational sometimes. You have to stop and switch thoughts. See, we can't take it for granted. It doesn't get sarcasm. It doesn't take innuendo. You have to stop sometimes and really get your thought in about and complete your thought before you can move on. That's communication tip. And speaking of Lorenzo Clemens just came in, and he's one of my key people who loves to talk about communication. So Lorenzo, here's the slide that we had up, and what I asked is, what topic could you lead discussion on when people walk in, they see this slide sitting on their screen? All right. And I'm going to keep on moving, and I'll come back to whenever you have it. But thanks, Vic. Thank you for clearing that up. And ladies and gentlemen, communication. When you don't understand something, ask. That's the thing. And here goes Daphne, liberating your mind. Yes, see, yeah, liberating your mind. How? Well, she met him in Italy. He said, well, you have a gated community could also be a closed mind. Yeah, see, you have to take, so you take your picture because what do we, excuse me, what do we have to do? We get the laughter. And then what we do is we take that laughter and turn it into a message. You ever slip some learning in on somebody? That's what comedians do. They tell a joke that actually slips some learning in on people. And so thank you, Daphne. This could lead a talk on liberating your mind. Meanwhile, look at the other advantage we got here, folks. Now Rogercarole, now Vic, now Daphne, maybe they have a presentation that they're going to do and they can use this slide. It's not mine. So if they need that slide, they have Sporty, send me that slide so I can put it in my PowerPoint. That's what we have to do. That's the family. That's sharing the resources. So like I said, Lorenzo, if you want to tell me what topic you can lead a discussion on with that, come on back and do it. All right. But let's keep rolling. Okay. All right. Let's keep rolling. Okay. So I started in 2014. I started okay. Wait a minute. I want to come get your comment because y'all don't see this on Facebook coming in from YouTube, or you might see it because he wrote spiritual freedom would be a great topic. She met him on the internet. Spiritual freedom. There we go. Spiritual freedom, right? Because you have to make a decision about who you are and where you're coming in from. Lorenzo said, who do you want to tell your story? Should it be you, maybe? Better yet, should it be a loving friend? See, these are the different types of topics that you can use this on. So don't ever decide, no, I'm not going to use PowerPoint. It's death by PowerPoint. No. You bring it into life. You make it breath by PowerPoint. So let me get rolling back here and get through a little bit more of the message. So in 2014, I started putting that I lived in Penthouse 208 on my business card, my website, and everything. And so my friends said, "Man, wow, Sporty, you living in the penthouse? Man, you must be killing it." And what I would say to them is, I said, "Oh yeah. My apartment complex have 2-story buildings, and I live on the second floor. The top floor of any building is the penthouse. At least that's the way that I look at it. See, if you don't like the way things are, change the way you look at them. Even if you do like the way things are, change the way you look at them." And what was so cool is that my mail carrier, Gerard, because I got on a first name basis with him after that, my mail carrier, Gerard, he loved it. He loved it when I have read, when he saw that. And I explained it to him how I was doing that. And it changed how he put my mail in my mailboxes. But here's the principle. He loved it so much that if you misread one of a letter that you had addressed to me, he would correct it and put it in my mailbox. See, so originally, if someone and the reason you see that, because I didn't think to do this till that last year. So this was just from January to May that I had letters that when someone sent it, because I moved from one building to the next. So when they said Penthouse 208, and I had moved, so he corrected it and he put Penthouse 207 instead of because what they usually do is they send it back. Addressing, no forwarding address, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but that's what he did. And here's the principle that goes with that. When you change the way you look at things, people change the way they look at you. See, Gerard no longer saw me as just a mailbox slot in the many mailboxes that he had to deal with. I had a one-on-one relationship with my mail carrier. And I think that you should. And I got to tell you, shout out to mail carriers. I tip my mail carriers every Christmas. I give them a little monetary gift because that's my way of thanking them. I don't have to make them rich with my tip, but if everybody's giving them a little something, and that's something I learned through growing up, I learned that, through seeing people do that. So, everything helps. But when you change the way you look at things, people change the way they look at you. So he saw that I didn't see with that that Christmas gift. I don't just see him as the mailman. I see him as a friend who's delivering important information to me that I need on a timely basis and accurately installed in my mailbox. But he also saw me differently. But here's the key. My favorite letter My favorite letter. See the one in the lower right? This one that says 9812 Penthouse 207. That envelope, I moved from one apartment to another in the same complex. So when I started putting a Penthouse 208, I was actually in building number 7612. When I moved 7612. When I moved, I was in building 9812. And so that person had an old address. That was in 2019 that they sent that to me. And I had moved from there in 2017 from one apartment to the next. And so he totally changed the address. And that's what I'm saying. Again, this is now 2 years, 3 years later, 2.5 years later, and he knew who he was dealing with. When you change the way you look at things, people change the way they look at you. And so that's what he did, is he totally wrote my new address on the envelope and made sure that it was delivered to me. Okay, so what is those two things that we said? When you don't like the way something are, when you don't like the way things are, change the way you look at them. When you change the way you look at things, people change the way they look at you. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try to get tech savvy on y'all, so be ready, okay? Because I want to show you that you can do the same thing with stress. You can change the way that you look at stress. And here's how we're going to do it. Okay. I'm gonna put us on, where is it? I'm gonna put us on a minute and a half break. I'm gonna put us on a minute and a half break. And in your feed, I have just dropped a link that I want you to go to in YouTube. Okay, and I want you to go to that link. And it'll take you to a video, and I want you to listen to that video. Okay, and it's going to be 2 cab rides that you're going to go on. Okay, here we go. There. Okay, so follow that link and stay there. Follow that link and watch the 1 minute video. But I'm going to give us 1:30 to come back, and that's what I want you to do. Okay. I want you to click on this link, and let me put the instructions there so you can be sure what I'm asking you to do. Okay, click on this link that I just put in your thread, and stay on YouTube and enjoy these 2 New York City cab rides with me, and then I want you to come back. Okay, so see you later. See you in a minute and a half. Oh, you're not seeing the link? Oh, let me try it. Oh, and here I am just as comfortable. Check it again, Rogercarole. Let me, I'll drop it in link in Facebook a second time and see what happened. Check it again, Rogercarole. See if it's there now. It showed me that it went the first time. Did it make it second? If not, we'll have to roll on without it, huh? Anybody else not seeing the link? And Rogercarole, I'm going to hope that the fact that you haven't come back answering me means that you saw it. And so now you're over there checking out the video. Oh, I just realized. Oh, okay. I dropped it in the wrong box. Okay, here. Okay, y'all gonna get it for real this time. Okay, here we go. Yeah, now you got it. Okay. All right. Okay, I dropped it in the wrong one. Woo, too much technology. Okay, see y'all. Go on. And LinkedIn, how y'all doing? Did it work for you? Oh, failed to post. Okay. Let me see if I can do LinkedIn again. All right, LinkedIn. Well, nobody's on it, but just in case, if you end up watching it, you'll see that link. There we go. Okay, I think I got it now. And you should be all clear on YouTube with that, Jose, correct? Oh man, see, I learned some new technology and I jumped to sharing it, y'all. I like using it and sharing it. That's the key. All right, no link. Okay. You got it now though, right, Jose? I see everybody's comment. No link at 1:36. What time did I put that on? Okay. All right. Let me know that y'all are back. And even if the link didn't work, then I'll move on from there. So let me know that you're back. But now you also see this is a good example of what I was talking about in terms of visual learners. Okay, I got a comment. Does that mean the person? Yeah, you're back. So it worked. Thank y'all. Y'all remember when I first tried doing that a couple of weeks ago? Okay. Yay. Okay. All right. Here's the lesson that I want to give you from that video. Those 2 New York City cab rides. Okay. And the lesson, the principle is that sometimes what you also have to do is change the music. Sometimes you just have to change the music. Similar to what Lorenzo was saying about who'll tell your story. And that is, you've got to say, you got to ask, who's in your ear? Why? What's in your spirit? How? When can you change it? Where will you go when you do? Did you see the difference? Okay. Hey, Angela coming in. I got to get her shout out because she's on LinkedIn. Everybody else is on Facebook and YouTube so far. But welcome back, Angela. All right. That's a Chicago also. Wonderful woman that I work with some teenagers through the National Black MBA Association. I'll give them the shout out. They deserve it. But let's go back to that. As you watch that video, that's what I say to you. Sometimes when you're dealing with change and stress, just change the music that you listen to. And that's what I say, who's in your ear? Why are you listening to that person? What's in your spirit? Did you see the look on his face? Did you see his spirit? And how did he feel about what was going on? When can you change what's going on that you may not like or may like? And then where will you go when you do change it? So there's a lot of stuff that you have to think about. And here, what I think the answer to each of those questions touch on what I call the 3 R's. And that's not reading, writing, and arithmetic. But for me, the 3 R's are the research, the real stuff, and the resource. So to answer those questions, about changing your music, who's in your ear, why, what's in your spirit, you have to use the 3 R's, the research, the real stuff, and the resource. So first, let's look at the research. Recognize that you have to continue to research who, why, what, how, when, and where without putting yourself in a box. That's how you handle change. You research all of those W's and the how without putting yourself in the box. Don't decide who this person is. Get your research together. Once you get your research together, then you have to evaluate why, how, when, and where the research applies to what you're really going through. You see, sometimes research doesn't apply to you. When they say 8 out of 10, even when they say 9 out of 10, well, who's that one that it didn't apply to? And should that person now be disappointed? No, maybe it didn't apply for a very good reason, but maybe it didn't apply just like, because they took care of that already. And so it's a good point that it didn't apply. So what does the research have to do what's really going on in your life? And then the third checkpoint of the R is constantly reevaluate who, why, when, how, where you're getting your information from. Who's your resource? See, so you'll be able to look back at the tape and look at what the 3 R's says, but who's your resource? Where are you getting your information from? Because that's going to make all the difference in the world. Now, this is not foolproof, nor is it the end all to your stress, but it's a good place to start because it's manageable and it's an easy source of practice. And you'll get plenty of practice opportunities to give it a try. I got a comment from Lorenzo. Okay, uplift note, discount the discards, replenish the refreshing, laugh at the laughs, cry because it's worth crying about. Move your position as you would your feet on hot coals. Love me as you would yourself, but stop if you doubt your self-love. Make room for small places, spaces, and feelings. Give it one more try because it was so trying. And it's God. And so that's the thing. So that's what you do is you think about, so here's the research. Where'd you get the information from? All right. And so just similar to what Roger Carroll, the picture of the gated community is an advertisement for the 3 R's. Exactly. Exactly. See, that's what I'm saying, how you end up pulling it all together. Because where'd you get your research? I met him in a gated community. I met him on the internet. The research, I met him in a gated community. I met him on the internet, and he said he lived in a gated community. That's the research. But the real stuff was he was in jail. All right. And then, so who was the resource? Who'd you get that from? Who delivered that message to you? Thank you, Roger Carroll. See, that's what I'm talking about, how you put things that apply together. People are always never really off topic. They're just making the connection that they have to make based on the information that they have. So again, this is not foolproof. My 3 R's are not foolproof, but they're a great place to start because these 3 R's are manageable. You can manage where you get your research from. You can have that introspective moment, like some of those things that Lorenzo just listed, and we'll twist on, play on words about what's really going on in your life. And now you make the decision of who you get your information from. Who's your resource? Right now, I'm your resource, but you may decide not to use what I give you. I'm okay. As a speaker, never, and I like to use absolutes, but never. That's an absolute. Never decide that you have to reach your whole audience. That's my principle. When the doors to the church are open, they say, is there one? Because there are too many things going on in people's lives. There's too many communication styles for you to think that everything you say, everybody's going to get it. You don't know what's going on in their life that makes you not the resource that they need. But one of the things I always remind you, choose your messengers carefully and recognize that you're being carefully chosen as a messenger. Get you a resource. If I'm not your resource, I don't have a problem with that. Get one. I don't have to be your messenger. Get a messenger because you're going to need a messenger to move forward. Therefore, and finally, with all the changes that you're going to go through this month of August, this week, this day, and any moment, what I want you to do is continue to remember the message in today's guiding scripture. Today's guiding scripture, Hebrews 13:8. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever, regardless of your resource, your real stuff, or your research. Change can be a source of stress that you can master when you have that mindset. When you have that clear mindset that Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, then you can master that change. And you can change it from negative stress. It may not change to positive stress, but it'll help you master. Remember, we're not talking about controlling your stress, but mastering it. Yes, you are stressed that's coming into my life, but because of I know who I am and I know whose I am, I can handle you. I know that I can change the way I look at things, and I know that people will change the way they look at me. And I also know that I don't need to hump to get over. I need to keep it together. And that's what Glue Wednesday is all about. So I'd like to thank my co-hosts, my co-authors, Roger Carroll, Daphne Frances, Jose Valencia, Victor Morris, and Maxine Hague, her first time. Thank you for helping me put this message together. And then I look forward to thanking you next week when we feature the letter M. So if you've got a word with the letter M that you want to get into next week's message, just put that in the chat, and I'm going to stay and see what comments we have. But just remember, I want you to have a goodness, a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening. And remember, it's always great to have good in front of your salutation. Thank you for enjoying, engaging, and sharing Glue Wednesday. Peace. Roger Carroll, malicious. She's gonna get malicious. So somebody, you can't trust everybody. Sometimes we say, oh, they didn't mean any harm by it. That's where choosing your messengers carefully comes in. M is messenger. That's where choosing your messengers carefully, because you do have some people who are maliciously trying to harm you. So think about it. Vic said, God bless everybody. He's already given me his word. All right. And then Daphne's word is magnificent. The magnificent power of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's what we have. But more importantly, what are you sharing? Are you sharing your magnificence? Because each of you is magnificent, but you've got to recognize it, and then you've got to decide that you can change it. It's got to be the real stuff in your life. And that's why Lorenzo said, everybody, have a blessed day. Have a blessed week. Have a blessed life, but just blessings, and it's plural. I once did a post that said, I stopped counting my blessings because I can't count that high. So more blessings from Daphne as she says goodbye. And again, if you're watching the video, please, cooperate, participate at those spots. I'm so excited. I finally figured out how to get that link in there. If you're watching on YouTube, by the way, put your word in the comments, not the chat, because the chat erases after. But Haas, I think I do end up seeing your name on your Facebook post when you do that. Okay, you just take care, family. Be safe and stay alert. So yeah, put your word in Facebook, Haas, or put it in the comments of YouTube, and that way I can get it. Look, everybody, be wonderful. I'm getting ready to go be good and work out, because I haven't talked to y'all about my knee in a while, but next month, September, will be my 1-year anniversary of the NN, or the NK, the new knee. All right. Oh, goodness. The belching is going on today. That's a good sign. That means I'm full. All right, y'all. Take care. I love you. Glue.